Welcome to Gaming with MJ and Blue. I'm Blue. I've been in the construction world for the last 20 years.
I'm MJ. I work in cybersecurity and Linux technical field. Let's talk gaming. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are a podcast, and it's all about gaming. So we're going to give you a little intro. We talk weekly about news on Minecraft as well as the continuing production of Hytale. Those are the two things that we talk about a lot, but that's not all. We also talk about other games and other issues that we discuss around the world of gaming. Games that we like, both past and present, legacy, future, whatever else is on our wish list or whatever. PC and, of course, consoles we mentioned. We could be talking about those. So let's get into it. What have you been up to? That's where we start, is what we've been up to for this week. So what have you been up to, Blue?
So this week, because I've been gone, I haven't really been able to play too much. But when I got home, I did play a little bit more of Hollow Knight. Not a lot, just a little bit. I was able to defeat one of the big boss creatures and then died to another boss creature. But that's kind of normal. But also, I mean, I'll be talking about it a little bit more later, but I've also been trying to work on a game. I've been trying to get back into a program I used to play around with called RPG Maker. But that will be discussed a little bit later. But it's a fun little program. How about you, MJ? What have you been up to with gaming this week?
Just get good, bro. Come on.
Them bosses.
Yeah, I have played a little bit of Hytale, not a huge amount. I've just mainly been looking for resources and kind of playing around. I also like, anytime there's an update, I like to look at it to make sure it's still working because I update the server that we use, and I like to play with it, make sure it's still stable. So I've been doing a lot of resource management, gathering. There was a tweak to the wolves, but I didn't actually ever get to test that. Some of the other things I've been doing is I didn't touch No Man's Sky too much because of that trash man thing getting on me. So, but they did a couple of patches, so I probably need to, just to check it out to see if anything's kind of tweaked with that. I've also been playing another game here recently, and that's because it's gotten some news lately. And the reason it's gotten some news is because first it was March 5th, they're going to release the 1.0 edition, because I've been playing the early edition, the early access, but it's called Timberborn, and it actually releases to 1.0 now, not on March 5th, but on March 12th. They decided not to do the March 5th because of a couple of other games that are coming out at the same exact time, and they didn't want to, do a confusing release with conflicts.
Is Timberborn that game with the beavers?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen some gameplay of that a while ago.
Yeah, beavers are so polite, so they don't want to release their game, at the same time as others are released. And in the same vein as your RPG Maker, I have actually been playing with a couple of things that I've been developing. One is I've been playing with Godot, making a 2D game. Kind of just playing with it. I've been just going through the tutorials again because there's been some updates to the game engine, and I liked them. So I was gonna open that up again. I played with it years ago and got pretty far into it, but I'm kind of redoing the tutorial just to kind of freshen my skills up a little bit there to maybe play with releasing a game someday. Who knows? I've also been developing a little chat game. I may put it on Discord, and it's kind of a thing to engage more in Discord. So it's kind of a bot that you kind of deal with and play a game back and forth. It's not anything grandiose. It's basically just a little bit of a command. You type commands in, do some building, mining, farming, stuff like that. In the space of what I've been looking at recently as far as wish listing, I added 4 things to my wish list recently on Steam, and that was Space Log, Data Center, which is an interesting take on my real job, being able to actually build a data center and work on it. I also Enter the Chronosphere. I'm going to check that out maybe. There's also an American Truck Simulator DLC pack that I might get, which is called the Bobcat Cargo Pack. So you get like all the Bobcat type. I guess it's sort of some more eye candy, you know.
Mm.
Sometimes they'll come out with a Ford pack, like where they'll release a bunch of Ford cars, so that you'll see the Ford cars going by. You know, they do stuff like that. So I went ahead and wishlisted all that stuff. We'll see if it goes on sale or what I may do with it. And finally, in the real world, I've been playing a game called, and I think I mentioned it. It's called 2D6 Void. I'm a playtester on that, and he recently kickstarted it. I backed it on Kickstarter, and he asked for help, so I went ahead and signed up to help him. And it recently did a bump of a version upgrade for his little beta test, and he made a whole new level. There's supposed to be 10 eventually, but all he's done so far is 1. So he's got 2 now. And we've kind of been playing with the 2, and it's got some more monsters, some more challenges, some more tweaks to the room design, stuff like that. So I've been playing with that.
Very cool. Man, sounds like you've got quite a bit going on this week. That's fun.
Yeah, I wasn't gone, so I did those things this week. Plus, work has been a little slow, not too bad.
Yeah.
But I imagine next week is going to be a little more hectic. So we'll see how far I get on things. But the Godot thing is kind of something I've been always wanting to do, so I just jumped into it. And I didn't spend a huge amount of time in it, maybe an hour this week. I've been playing with it just to refresh my memory. So a lot of these things are small; they're not real big. But ready to get into some news?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Go ahead and proceed and do whatever you'd like to cover.
All right. I guess that means I'll start off with a few on the Minecraft front. So, looking at some of the news that we had on February 24th, apparently they fixed a gap in the Snifflet texture. There's a lot of just refinements for the update with the baby mods. So we're going to see a lot of stuff with this coming up. But I guess the Strider babies, they didn't have the bristles animated, so that's been adjusted. The Striders now correctly inherit the warmth of the Strider they are standing on, matching Bedrock. So I guess in Bedrock, whatever they're standing on, I'm guessing that's the quote-unquote parent mob. If they're in the warmth, then the baby's automatically warm. If they're in the cold, then the baby's automatically cold if it's on top. That's the impression I got as far as how that works. They reduced the head size of some of these baby mob models. So that'd be the zombie, the husk, and the drowned. So those are now adjusted.
I didn't notice their heads being big, but okay.
I feel like traditionally they've always been bigger a little bit anyway. So I don't know. Maybe they recognize that and wanted to make some changes or adjustments.
Don't babies all have big heads?
Yeah, right. That makes complete sense. But yeah, you want me to keep going, or you want to cover that last one?
Go ahead and wrap it up, I guess, and I'll do Hytale.
Okay, so as far as the golden dandelion, so that's also been added not too long ago, but they gave it some particle effects. So it's basically going to give you a more visual way of knowing if you used a dandelion on a mob or not. So if it's showing the particles, then you know that baby has been used with the dandelion. So I guess it's just to help with keeping an eye on things. So when you stop the aging, green particles will be moving downwards. Then that's how it's going to kind of display on the screen. And then when aging starts again, the green particles will start moving upwards. And then, finally, a small armor stands now display correctly by using the adult armor and scaling it down. So sorry, there was a couple more things there. I accidentally had them jumbled together. But so that's kind of just the extent of all of the Minecraft news. I haven't looked today, so I don't know for sure if there was anything recently, newly, but that's the main stuff. All right, MJ, I guess we could talk a little bit more about Hytale now.
Okay, and stop me and go into more detail if you want to go into more detail, okay?
All right, sounds good.
So we talked about animal taming. I don't know if you had tried it. Have you tried animal taming?
Not yet. No, that wasn't. I haven't really played since that got implemented.
Okay, okay. Because I have a horse that kind of just walked onto my land, and so I've been playing with it, and I did tame it. I don't
Nice.
know what else to do with it because I feed it,
Hmm.
I pet it. I don't know what else to do with it. It's actually a baby. So
Mm.
the parents came over and they had this baby, and so it left it there and then walked off. So I guess I'm just adopting this colt, but I don't think I can ride the colt, so I don't know what
Mhm.
to do with the thing right now. But I have been able to like take a carrot. Apparently, it's carrot that it likes. So I took a carrot and I'm feeding it. And when
Well,
you feed
hopefully
it,
it'll
it allows
age,
you to
right?
pet it. I
Oh, okay.
hope. I hope. Maybe
Uh,
if I keep feeding it some carrots, it'll grow bigger. I'm not quite sure. And then apparently now you can place markers on the map, I guess, is what it's talking about. Like you can pull up the map and you can place some markers little better. I noticed tweaks with that. Um,
mhm.
Also, the avatar, some changes with the avatar presets. I pretty much made my avatar and I haven't changed it, so I didn't really go back and check any of that. There's now a sickle, and I did try the sickle. I'm not terribly impressed.
Oh,
Um, it's kind of like the shovel, where the shovel is supposed to
oh.
like speed dig, but it really is really hard to control. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't really have a direction to it. It seems to like randomly pick other blocks around it to dig up, even ones you don't want. So the sickle is kind of like I would just rather do everything myself because I don't. It's not like I have that much to harvest. I don't.
Right.
Unless you have something to add, I don't know what else to say about that. I'm finding it kind of like whatever.
Well, if it's similar to the shovel, I'm equally not impressed with the shovel right now. It's way too clunky. It doesn't, yeah, like you said, there's no precision to the shovel. So if the sickle's kind of similar,
Yeah,
that's kind of annoying.
yeah. To me, it was kind of worthless, just like the shovel. Well, something I just won't use. Just
Mhm.
doesn't deserve a spot on my hotbar, I guess. That's what I'm saying. And I just didn't use it, especially not for the cost. I mean, it costs what, a couple of iron or something.
Mm.
Um, there's been some. I didn't notice any climbing changes. I do climb a lot, but I didn't notice anything. So apparently, maybe that was just a tweak. I have noticed the fire spreading, so that's been kind of like you're like a fireman where you're running around putting out fires that you notice now. So I appreciate
Mhm.
that. Not that we deal a whole lot with fire because they don't put lava on the surface too much. Like only in certain biomes is lava really up at the surface.
Right.
So I just haven't been playing in those biomes recently, I guess. There's also grass spreading finally. So now I have all this stuff that's all my grass is finally growing back and it
I'm
doesn't look
happy
so
about
horrible.
that.
I am
Yeah.
very happy about that because it's been looking so bad lately. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I hate to do it now because it was not, it was just dirt you're looking at. And
Mhm.
anyway, a lot of cosmetic
Simple,
changes.
yeah, it's a simple thing, but man, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, there's supposedly some changes with the aiming. I did not notice any. I have been aiming a lot, and I don't see much, like the short bows, crossbows, and all that. I don't use the
Mhm.
crossbows much. I use the short bows mainly because my little characters. I sort of focus on that.
Right, right.
But I didn't see anything in the short bow, so I don't know if you've noticed it. And I have always been able to use arrows out of my backpack, so I don't understand what that did exactly. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'm supposed to be holding it. I don't know.
I'm not sure either. The When I was looking it up, basically what I was understanding was you couldn't use arrows out of the backpack. Like, but I mean, if you were, that's interesting. But that maybe there was glitches with it. I don't know. But yeah, now it's
Maybe
supposed to be doing it now.
maybe it was just glitchy then, and
Maybe,
I was getting it to work.
maybe it's possible.
I don't know. I don't know. Anything on
Seems
the
like
block?
I would say, it just seems like a good a good fix all in all. So that's, if it
Sure,
is needs to be regular.
sure. So
All
the block, there's
blocks,
been a
yeah.
couple of changes. Anything special to you?
Well, I was looking at it. They're adding some new textures, new variants of certain blocks, which is always good to add a little more stuff like that. But then they also added line block variants, which is cool. That's just more building blocks for us to play around with, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't noticed many of them, but probably because our world is getting to where it's kind of old now.
Mm-hmm.
Might want to reset so we can see some of these cool textures, but I haven't gone out far enough to like reset some parts.
Yeah.
But you know, anytime, like you said, anytime you've got new material to paint with, that's great. You know, I didn't notice the textures. Actually, some of the weaponry is a little tweaked, like a little. You could see some of the changes in that, so I
Mm.
do like it. I do like the changes as far as like
Yeah.
how the weapons look.
I mean, they're gonna keep improving. It's good to see the constant progress.
Okay, and there's been some world updates with, well, like we just mentioned the blocks, but there's also some weather updates. I didn't notice any weather changes, so it seems like it's just maybe a tweak.
Hmm.
Did it say anything about it as far as that? No, it just says default added default flat and default void weather configurations. Okay, so we may not see changes. It's just how it works behind the scenes.
Something
As
people
far-
can play around with, modders.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is nice to be able to add a weather mechanism, especially a mechanism that's not like Minecraft where it's just everywhere.
Hmm.
Maybe a weather can move through slowly. I do like the weather. I like how the
Hmm.
weather changes slowly, and you get a little rain during the day or rain during the night or something like that. I kind of like it, and then it kind of gets bad or kind of gets lighter or whatever. Starts out light. I like the fog rolling in. That's it's kind of a cool mechanic. I have to admit, I do like the weather, how it's done. It's well done in Hytale, if you ask me. That stupid toad still gets me. So I don't know what they're doing with the toad, but I
Adding a
think
new variant.
I've 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 I encounter the toad a lot. I don't know why. Maybe it's just where I'm digging or whatever. But I've died 3 times I think this week, and all 3 of them were because of this stupid toad. So
Mhm.
they do that thing where they grab you, with their and they pull you close to them. And sometimes they're in the middle of a lava pit, right? So they'll just
Oh,
grab you and pull you into the lava pit, which is not really avoidable, but just depends. What I kind of do is hide from them until I can figure out what they're standing on. So that way, if they grab me and pull toward them, that's fine. I always just switch my daggers and go at them because daggers seem to be pretty effective. But anyway,
yeah, and I think I don't remember exactly, but I'm assuming the green variant is going to be found elsewhere. So this probably maybe the swamp area, but it wouldn't be spawning most likely in the underground. I don't think because that would be the colors wouldn't quite match the theme.
most of my toads have been underground.
Yeah.
There is a monster guy that is sort of like a creature from the Black Lagoon looking thing with like
Hmm. Swamp thing.
webbed feet and all that, that appears. And he's all right. He seems pretty defeatable, honestly. But that stupid toad, I try to just whittle him down as much as I can, as far as like with arrows, until I have to get close to him, and then I just start wailing on him. Unfortunately, they come in packs, usually 2,
Hmm.
sometimes 3, and that makes it really rough. That's
Yep.
typically that's
More
typically
toads.
MJ dying, sort of recipe there. Recipe for
Right.
MJ dying. Anything else on the UI and quality of life? I haven't messed with the modding and tools, so I don't know about that. But apparently, they've done a lot of work, and
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
They're continuing to work on the creative tools, which will be good for map creators. Machinima, the video tools, so being able to create awesome scenes. Yeah, all this stuff is getting just continued adjustments and add additions and all that. So it's cool.
Audio fixes.
Hmm.
I think I have noticed like some different ambient type effects, so that's good. That's good. Yeah. So I mean, good for them for keeping updating all these little tweaks and things. I mean,
It's
to
hard
me,
to keep track. They have so
it's
many.
hard to keep track. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, which good for them. Good for
Yeah.
them. All right, ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's let's go to the tidbit of the week, and I'll let you have this because this is kind of your baby. But I've got a couple of things I'll jump in and say if I want to.
Sounds good. Yeah. So tidbit of the week is basically just general gaming news. It could be anything. Obviously, not going to go over every little bits of news, but just something we might find interesting. So one thing that I saw that was kind of interesting about the Xbox situation. Xbox super popular, but if it's been on a big decline because just hardware hasn't really been even encouraged. But most recently, this happened like within the last week or so. Phil Spencer, he was known as the Xbox guy, is now retiring. So he's oftentimes known as the guy that turned the Xbox brand around years ago when it was really starting to take off. So he's retiring, and also Sarah Bond, who is the current president of the Xbox, is also leaving. It sounds like she was a little bit more. People don't like her as much as they liked the other guy because she was more pushing the Xbox everywhere mentality. So, in other words, she was trying to get rid of the idea of Xbox hardware for the most part and focus more on just having Xbox available. So, put it on your phone, put it on other things. Mobile cloud gaming, all that. That's what she was focusing on. This obviously made a lot of very hardcore Xbox fans unhappy because Xbox has not done anything real console wise in a while. So these two people, primarily big names in the companies, are now no longer going to be there. But the new president is Asha Sharma. Um, they're not sure about her, the fan base, because apparently most of her job experience has been related to AI, which is again causing concern for people. They don't want AI to overdo their gaming stuff. But she didn't really give the impression in some of her statements that she would be doing a lot of AI. She actually mentioned AI slop would not play a big role in Xbox going forward. So time will tell if this really has an impact or not. If she sticks by this, we don't know for sure, but we know for Xbox fans out there, we hope the best that they get a good system coming up so that they can again enjoy playing their games. But
Right.
yeah,
Microsoft
that's
to me, they always play to their audience, right? They play to their market. So
they
whatever their market wants, they will do. They'll provide it.
sometimes Microsoft is also, yeah, they have their own issues, as you well know, Michael. MJ.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I've got lots to say about Microsoft. Well, mainly negative. Mainly negative.
Yeah.
As far as AI goes, well, AI could be there's I see two things, positive and negative, that could happen with gaming in AI. One thing is that you'll see a lot of art being redone by AI, so that we're going to lose like real artists in games. We're gonna hear voiceovers or something that is going to be AI slop.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see scenes and textures that are all just AI generated. They're not necessarily like a real artist behind it that actually
Yeah.
made this with care and love. So we're going to see a lot of AI slop there.
Yeah.
I do see that as a possibility. But then again, the positive I see with gaming and AI, if they do this correctly, is you can now have smarter enemies, right? Like smarter challenges in games,
Mm-hmm.
which would always be welcome, right? We like our challenges. We
Yeah.
call it AI anyway. We say like, okay, well, we're playing zombies or whatever in Minecraft. Well, what's the zombie AI? We all know it. It's like it goes toward a villager or toward this or toward that. And so it's well known, like their patterns of thinking. But to have them actually do things that are sort of like thinking through it, like suddenly a zombie is a little smarter when it approaches you. Well, hey, that could be very interesting, right? But we'll see.
Yeah.
Anytime you have AI, a lot of it depends on what you mean by that, like how you're going
Yeah.
to introduce it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. See, and for me, I don't have an issue with AI generally speaking. I understand a lot of people's concerns about certain things and related to it. Like, let's just talk briefly here about art. Um, I agree that art really needs to come from people in a general sense, but I do feel like AI can, using generative images can help inspire you. If you throw out a prompt like, "Hey, I'm trying to get some ideas, some concepts on this topic, this subject, this theme," um, you can throw that at it and have it generate some stuff and just kind of inspire you a little bit. It's like, okay, I kind of generally like this feel, this look, and now take that and now make your own art, utilizing it as a kind of an inspiration type thing. So in that sense, I feel like AI and art is okay as long as you're not just using AI as art as your complete um, creative process where it's just doing all the work. Because that then you just get, what do they call it, soulless, lifeless game assets, which
Yeah.
you don't really want. But there's a lot of other benefits, like you were saying. Yeah, there's some games. I don't know if you've seen these before, MJ, but there's some games that actually have um, the character is AI controlled. So you can actually have conversations with the character, and it'll utilize the whatever AI program they're working with to generate responses, and it'll actually have a conversation with you back and forth. Um, this was shown off originally. I saw this in the I don't know what game it was. I think it was more of a demo, but a guy walked around a city with all these little NPCs walking around, and he could go up to these NPCs and basically interact with them, and then he could start talking to them, and they would talk back. And sometimes he would try to tell them, "Hey, do you realize you're in a video game? You're actually a character," and they would actually respond like, "Wait, what? Really?" And they would. It was really interesting. Um,
I'm gonna
they
go
didn't have any.
rethink my life choices.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then there's another one that I was playing around the demo with, and I don't remember the name of it. Let me see if I can look it up quick. It was very interesting. It was about this girl who got crash landed on a planet, and she's completely AI controlled. So it's called Whispers from the Star, and I just did the demo, the free demo. But you could literally converse with this character, and you're trying to help her basically get from where she is to where she needs to be. So she needs to get to a certain location to kind of get evacuated off of the planet, and you're the only person that she can, for some reason, connect to through the your radio or whatever. It's an interesting game, interesting concept. Um, it's I Some of it's kind of weird. Like she will start asking you a lot of questions, personal questions, which some people might find fun. For me, it's like I don't really know if I need to tell you this, so I'll just make stuff up, which was kind of what I did. I just make up a bunch of randomness and see how she would respond. But it was actually pretty entertaining, and it was kind of funny to see the responses. So
That's how I deal with Microsoft. Just make up all this random stuff. And
so
Google.
yeah, there's some interesting potential here for AI. I do look forward to seeing some good use cases.
Future episode subject, possibly.
Huh? Possible AI in gaming. Yeah, we can get into it a little bit more.
We'll throw it on the
Now,
board, see if it
yeah,
sticks.
yeah, why not? Did you say you had a couple more things for the tidbit of the week there, MJ?
Oh, I was just going to respond to what you were talking about, which is, kind of what I did, which is just to
Oh,
talk about AI a little bit. Yeah.
okay, I gotcha.
That's about it. I didn't have any other
Cool.
tidbits, but that's it. Yeah.
Nice. I didn't want to interrupt you, so just wanted to make sure.
All right. So we want to get to our next topic.
Sure.
We're going to do tools of the week right now. So we pick a website or a program or a mod or whatever that we kind of like. I'll go ahead and do mine first, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like audio, and our main topic is kind of be audio today. So music and gaming is what we're talking about this week. So I it made me think about a lot about how the music in games is kind of involved. Like everybody knows the iconic Mario theme song, right? So if that starts up, you're just kind of almost humming to it, immediately, because that's just ingrained in our psyche now. But you've got those kind of, I don't know, I call them like a MIDI type of musical arrangements, with multiple voices and multiple instruments that you can play. So BeepBox, and it's called BeepBox, BeepBox.co, BeepBox. So it's a way to kind of build that. Like you can make like a little background music going on your game if you like, or you can just use it to develop a tune that you're thinking of, or whatever. You have multiple voices, multiple channels. You can pick, uh, like the notes you want it to play in the background of different channels, and kind of play with it. And it just kind of sits there in loops and allows you to kind of tweak the levels. It's not extremely advanced, but it is kind of a cool little web tool that you can use, and you don't even have to be online to do it. There's actually, if you go there, you can download the offline version, and you can sit there and play with it while you're doing it, and it saves everything in the URL. So if you bookmark it, it's saved. So all you have to do is go back to that bookmark, and it will load up exactly where you had it before, and with all the different notes on and whatever else. So it's just such a cool idea. And I haven't played with it enough, but whenever I get to the point of maybe doing some background audio, I might play with it again.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen a few different tools. Actually, I think Apple has a music app. Was it Logic Pro or I'm trying to remember.
GarageBand? It's
No,
GarageBand.
it's not GarageBand. It's called Logic Pro, but it is a full
Oh, like
audio.
like the
Um,
Logic board type of
I
rendering.
I think so. Yeah, something like that. But you literally, it's for audio music creation,
Oh,
um,
oh, I see.
which could
Yeah.
be a fun tool to use. I think it's just a bit more advanced than GarageBand,
Okay.
if I understood correctly.
Yeah, it
Um,
looks like a more advanced version of Beatbox. Is what it is.
mm. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. It's yeah, there's a lot of tools out there that you could potentially use if you want to get into music. That's for sure. BeepBox looks like it might be a decent use for that too. I'm sure it
Cool.
helps if you have music theory, understand that
Yeah.
stuff.
Unfortunately, I don't, but I wish I did.
I agree. Me too. It'd be nice.
What's your tool of the week?
All right. So my tool, I'm going to talk a little bit about RPG Maker MV. I mean, the RPG Maker series in general, they've been making simple game engine. Well, I say simple, but they can get complicated. But they've been making simple game engines for quite a while now. So the most recent is MZ, but I have MV. So I'm just going to, I mean, they all kind of are similar. So whatever you play around with. But RPG Maker MV is a video game engine that you can use to create games. Now this is mostly your easy use cases, simple top down RPG style games where you have characters and story and all that. So if you're looking to make a game like that, the focus is maybe some creating some battle systems or whatever, but you want a nice story to go along with these characters, all pixel, mostly just pixel art related characters and all that. It's a nice tool because they have all the assets that you need to start learning and getting into it. So if you want to learn how to create a game, but you're not sure about the asset side of things, making art basically, they have that all for you. You can literally take all that stuff, make a game, and then throw it on Steam and try to make some money off of it if you want. I
Mm-hmm.
don't recommend that because it's been done to death. There is way too many RPG Maker games on Steam using just the base sprites, all the base artwork, that it you're not going to get anybody that's really interested in it unless your story is just ridiculously amazing, which is kind of hard to do when you don't have the right artwork to go with it. So for me, I like RPG Maker. I've liked it for a long time. I've played around with it a lot, but I've never just buckled down and just tried to dedicate some time to make some games, because I have a lot of stories. I have a lot of different ideas for what I want to do. But this is a good game to start off with learning game dev. They have the ability to create scripts and different things like that to take the game engine and just bring it one step further. So you can create plugins for it that create basically new functionality or use case in the game. Speaking of AI, that's actually one thing I was playing around with today. Was I was trying to use AI to help me create a plugin, because I wanted a very specific and unique system in the game. Unique to a degree. I mean, these days there's very few things that you can say are unique. Most games, they borrow from other concepts. So I was working on a system today, trying to use Chat GPT and Gemini to help me figure out some stuff, trying to create some code. And it works a little bit, but you got to get really specific, and issues come up. I would love to actually learn the code at some point, so that I could troubleshoot things. And I know a lot of people are using AI for code these days to help them create things, which is cool. I mean, if it helps your production value go up a bit, that's nice. But being able to have that skill set of actually knowing the code is important. And this program specifically just uses JavaScript. So if you're a JavaScript person, you should be able to understand how the programming language is for RPG Maker. So anyway, yeah, it's fun game, fun program. I like it. It's regularly on sale. It's like $80 normally, I think, or something like that, but it is regularly on sale. I think I got it for like 20 or something like that, $25 at one point. So if it's something you're interested in, but you're not wanting to invest a lot, wait for a Steam sale and you might have a good option for that. And they have tons of different things there. So yeah, that was my program, I guess you could say, for the week for me.
Yeah, I own a version, so I don't know. I can't remember which version. I think it's probably the MV. Yeah, probably the same. Probably the same. I probably got it on sale, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably what I did. I remember it was a while back that I saw a YouTube video, and a guy was like, "I will show you the comparisons of all the different game engines." And what he did was he took the same game, which was just a simple idea,
Mm-hmm.
and then he implemented that same idea in like 4 different game engines. And one of them I think was RPG Maker.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would do it in like Godot, and then do it in like Unreal Engine, and then like Unity. And so he would just do the same thing in all those, and then he compared them. So it was a good hour long type of one of those type of YouTubes. So I don't know if most people have the attention span to be able to do that these days, but hopefully our audience might. And it was interesting. It was very telling, like how you could get very detailed and oriented, or you could just kind of like pull in assets. And RPG Maker is kind of like built in, like everything's built in to be very simple, point click. Take whatever's in your head, like you said, as a story, and just put it out. Put it into a game, including the logic and the game theory or whatever, the engine, I guess. There's a lot of other things like that. For example, if you compare that with like Unity, well, Unity is you can do A to Z in Unity as far as like a Swiss Army knife. Talk about handing someone like a huge set of tools and saying go build a house. Or using RPG Maker, you could tell someone, here are 12 pieces of a house, put them together in any shape you like, and it will work. So that's the way, just broadly, I think of RPG Maker, is like it's already built for you, already designed, already good. You just take the pieces and put them together, as opposed to some of the other engines, which are like You can do whatever you like. You can grab third party. Um, you can pay for assets. You can hire an artist to do your assets for you, or grab the free ones. Itch.io is, I think that's a tool that I already featured on a previous episode, but that's a place where you can grab a lot of assets, many of them
Hmm.
for free. If you need a character that's animated already, you can do it.
Yeah.
You and I, we've built our own little pixel assets ourselves, but it's cute. It's fun to kind of do that. It's part of an artistic type, outlet. But it also can be very overwhelming because it's like I need 1,200 assets to for 400 monsters and
Yeah.
300 different pieces of clothing that our hero can wear, and like, oh, it just gets overwhelming, right?
Mhm.
So RPG Maker kind of makes that easy, right?
Easier, yeah. It's still hard to do the animations, like because you're basically creating a frame by frame, taking each of the movements and trying to make it look like an actual walking animation. That's the hard part for me. Static images are fine, even just simple. If you're just looking at a sprite character, that's easy. But if you want to give them life and make them actually feel like they're a part of the world, they have to move around and do different things.
Mm.
It's a little bit different, and it makes it a little hard. To me, that's the hard part of artwork is animation, because I'm not really good at that. I'd like to get good at it. I'd like to learn, but I know that's takes time. And right now, I think my main focus, and this is what I've noticed from a lot of people who do tutorials, they're like, do not focus on the art right away. If you have a game, like some people can do that, that's fine. But for the most part, most people, they need to learn how an engine works. You use those base sprites, use them for now. They can be swapped out later. They can be easily swapped out. But getting the
Right.
core functionality going, so learning how that stuff works, the coding, if you need to learn that, all that's more important than the art
Right.
in the beginning. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
keep that mentality. It's hard because I like the art, but yeah,
It's kind of fun to stop on the things that you like and enjoy the most, and just spend more time on that.
yeah,
But yeah, I've heard a lot of the term MVP thrown around, which is the minimum viable product, right? You need to get a minimum viable product out the door,
hmm,
or done, and
yeah,
then you can go back and change the art and play with it and enhance it. To me, that's true, right? However, there are many games that did not follow that process. Minecraft did not follow that process.
yeah.
It grew organically. The art was added later, but it was added in a way that just always enhances everything.
Hmm.
But in any case, uh, it makes a lot of sense. Get your engine done, and that makes the most sense because whatever loop you've got in your game, the thing that you constantly repeat, that needs to be fun and interesting. Otherwise, you're going to lose people, right? So if
Yeah.
people can repeat that loop, like whether it's to go to an NPC and get a job and then go do the job, whatever, the combat mechanic maybe is very interesting, or whatever. Whatever you're doing, make it the interesting part, get that done first, get that really polished, then you can always go back and change your art. It's all right.
Hmm.
But it makes a lot of sense. Personally, I'm going to do that myself. That's why I threw in some random art into Godot and just was playing around, just because getting through the tutorials has been nice.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to move to our primary topic?
Yeah. Let's do it.
We've covered so much, it's like we still have a primary topic. Yes, sir. We have music in gaming is our primary topic. So I'd kind of like to know. I kind of like to know, when did music for you first get noticed in gaming? Because gaming, music is not a primary piece at first, but it definitely is now when you think about it. Like, can you imagine a game without music?
For me, I've always, yeah, uh, logically, I know music has always been in games. But I think there was only one game where music really started to hit me. And actually, it's one of the games I've actually chosen for today. and that's the game Kingdom Hearts. So for those that know that game, it was originally a PlayStation game, and it was a mashup between Final Fantasy and Disney. So if you're a fan of those IPs, you might enjoy this game. But Kingdom Hearts did something with music that I had never ever personally felt before, and that is the emotion of the story. It did such an amazing job of making you feel the game, feel that emotion. Um, that I was just blown away. You know, the theme songs for each one of their games. It was an actual, full on singing, really awesome, intense song.
Mm.
So this lady in Japan wrote this, and she was able to sing in English as well, which is really good. So she, you got your Japanese and you got your English as hers, but the actual most of the music is very beautiful piano, some symphony, some orchestra related stuff, and it's just amazing. Like, I think I'll just say it. At the end of the first game, I cried, like, because you throw the music with the
What?
story. I actually cried. I was that invested in the characters that it hit me at the end of the game. Um, so that was awesome to me. Like, that was my first. I think that was the first time I really felt that the music had such an amazing impact on the story.
Mm.
I've mentioned it before. I love stories. Like, if the story in the game is good, that's awesome. That being said, Kingdom Hearts, its story is very kind of ridiculous and crazy, and you for years were wondering where in the world this was going, and it continues to be that way. But they're still making the games, so um, yeah, that the music, and it stayed consistent all throughout. So yeah, that's definitely where I first hit the feelings on the music in games. How about you, MJ?
As far as first early on game that I remember listening to the music and I'm like, wow, that is amazing, is a game that I played. It was sort of one of those top-down RPGs, but if we're talking about like in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
RPG Maker was not a flicker in someone's head at that point. So
I think
the game,
2000, I think, was RPG Maker the
yeah,
first. I think.
yeah. So we're talking about probably 8 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a it was a game based on J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. Uh, well, really, technically, it's more the Lord of the Rings, but which is a sequel to The Hobbit. But it was part of that series. But I jumped into it kind of in the middle. I probably played the previous ones, but I didn't notice the music. But when I got to this actual episode, which was the J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings Volume 2, The Two Towers in 1992, that's the one where I started. I was playing, and I was realizing for the first time ever I was actually leaving the music on, because for me it's very distracting to have a lot of music, high notes, low notes, all this stuff going on when I'm trying to play a game. So I would often mute it or turn it way down. And just like Minecraft right now, if you looked at my music in Minecraft, it's probably muted because I just don't want to hear it. Because you've heard it 1,200 times, you're done with it, right? But this one, for some reason, I just left it on its loop and I played the whole game with that music, and I was enthralled. Like, how is this in there? Like, and the thing is it wasn't spectacularly uh, scored, right? It wasn't actually recorded in probably a real studio. I mean, it's one of those where we kind of were in between doing little 8-bit soundtrack type things to like the game scores that you hear now in AAA games. It's somewhere between there. It wasn't really that great of a production, but it had such a nice cadence to it, and I left it on uh, for whatever reason. It was the first one I actually left it on, and I was fine with it.
Hmm.
I can't say I cried. I won't suggest that as a topic. Games that make us cry, right? But
I have one more.
oh, you have one other. Okay,
Maybe
I
I'm
only
just
have
too
two
emotional.
movies. I only have two movies that have ever made me cry. But it's That's not. I don't think I've ever cried in a game. Although I have. Well, I'll talk about that later. Maybe we can talk about. Maybe we can talk about emotions and emotional reactions in games, because there are emotional reactions, right? Sometimes,
Yeah.
because of just how well done a game is.
Yeah.
In any case, that's kind of my first time noticing a game with
Hmm.
music. So if you want to continue, go ahead.
So the game I have recently been talking about and playing, I even mentioned it a podcast or two ago, was Hollow Knight. Like that was a game that I loved. The second I opened up the game and started playing it, the music was awesome. It was amazing. Um, I think I'm a sucker for instrumental music. I think that's really what it kind of boils down to. Um, but the music in that game was just amazing. So yeah, that's another one that I really enjoyed. I have been enjoying when I do play it a little bit. Still can't do very long game sessions with Hollow Knight. I like playing the game, but I'm done after like 20 to 30 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm good. Uh, but then I'm happy to jump back
Hmm.
into it. I don't know. I don't know why.
It's intensity, maybe like makes you tired or
Maybe. I mean,
gives you a
this week
headache.
I'm yeah. Well, maybe this week just because of vacation and now being a little sick probably doesn't help. But yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
you have another one?
Yeah, I was going to mention The Long Dark because of its musical score has been really well done. And the thing I appreciate about The Long Dark is there's two special things about the music. One is that it's done by a musician, separately from the development of the game. So there was a bunch of people that put scores together that they put into the game. And the other thing I like about it is that it doesn't hit you. Um, and you've been playing a game where you're in an idle type of situation where you're like walking around a city or whatever, and so it's playing some music in the background, whatever, and then you get into a battle or an encounter or something like that, and so the game just kind of shifts to the encounter music, right? And it's jarring, honestly. A lot of games it was jarring, that switch, and so you'd know, and sometimes in some cases you would know something's coming up because the music would change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm getting into a dangerous area because the music shifted. Otherwise, I wouldn't notice, right? So there's games like that, and to me, that's just not well done. That should not have happened. But with the Long Dark, there are musical scores that have to do with events in the game, but the changeover was articulated in a very specific way, and they mentioned it on the development of their game. One of the where they like interviewed the designer. He talked about that, and he said that he talked about that jarring type of situation that can happen, and so he didn't want that. He specifically said we've got to make it where it's impactful, but it enhances the game. So that's one of the things they did was they made it where it would introduce slowly. So, like for example, when night falls in the Long Dark, night's very dangerous. It's starting to get very cold. I mean, not like it's already been cold, but it's now going to get very cold. Or you may have entered a battle area, like you started a battle with wolves or whatever. You don't hear that switch. It's much more gradual. In fact, you may not even notice it
Mm-hmm.
has changed at all. You're just in the fight, and you just feel the music already change with you. So it's more of along the lines of a feeling that has gone kind of developed slowly. So it introduces it in a way that's like goes along with the feelings. So that's very nice. That's a game I definitely recommend purchasing the soundtrack to. The sounds are not, the music in it is not more than 3 or 4 minutes each,
Mm-hmm.
but they are kind of enhancing, very enhancing to how it works. So I appreciated that game and how it did it. Those are the only two things that really stood out to me
Nice.
as far as music and gaming. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a lot of other types of music. I mean, the music in No Man's Sky is okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I would go out and purchase that, but unless I already did, which I might have. But The Long Dark definitely just so
Yeah.
well done. When you're listening to it outside of the game, you're listening to it
Mm-hmm.
driving home or something, and you want to relax. It'll take you back to the headspace you were in the game. So that's nice. That's a nice feature of the music.
Yeah. I have one more, and I won't be too long on it. Um, unless you had more to add.
No.
Okay. So this game was, I want to say, it's not what I expected at all. So I do enjoy simple pixel art style games. So there's a game called To the Moon. The I believe the guy who created it is an actually does knows how to play the piano very well. So he had that going for him when he made this. This game, the story was very engaging, and there's certain things where you got to really pay attention because there's little hints throughout the game that have an impact on the story. But the emotion that there I go with that emotion again. But the emotion of the music in combination with the story was so good. Uh, it had when it had upbeat moments, like it had really great upbeat music. When it was more serious, like it had very serious music. And then for those that haven't played it, I don't want to ruin the story, so I won't really go very far with it. But he's actually made three primary games so far, and he's working on, I think, of the final. I'm not positive. I think he's working on the final story. But that was another game where at the end I actually cried. This little pixel art game, like it had such an amazing like I think for me, I'm one of those very what's the word, empathic type people. Like I empathy is very important to me, I guess, because I really mentally put myself in people's situations, and so because of that, even though I don't necessarily fully understand what someone's going through because I haven't personally gone through it, I can almost emotionally put myself in their situation just from understanding, or to a degree, what they're going through. So in this game, it hit that side of me. Like I think it was just that empathy and that feeling for these characters and what was going on. So that's a game I highly recommend. I think it's only like $10. It might be cheaper than that, but the story is really good. The music is awesome. I've downloaded the soundtrack to it. Every once in a while I'll listen to it. But again, it's that more piano style music. I love piano. So anyway, that was just one more I wanted to throw in there because that recent memory, that is another game that music was just excellent and I really enjoyed.
Okay. Well, you've inspired me. I'll throw one more in.
All right, dude.
Very, very short, very short. The tail end of the game, which is Fallout 2. So we're
Okay.
going back. We're going back really far in the Fallout line because I haven't played any modern Fallout's. They never really trigger me. But the original Fallout games, where you're actually 2D and you're up above it, and you're playing through the story, which was a very engaging story, kind of a lot like you'd see with the RPG Maker type of games.
Mm-hmm.
It was isometric was the second one, and way at the end of the game, where it finally, and I don't think this is a spoiler if you haven't played it, but you get kicked out of the vault, right? Because you're now considered dirty. You've been out of the vault. You've been in the radiation. Get out of here. We don't want you anymore. Thank you though for saving our vault, but you can't come back. So it was kind of like you just got kicked out, and so the very final piece of the game, like the storyboard, was that you, the character in full armor now, are walking away from the camera, and it plays this song. And it was a really sad song, and so it's so very excellent use of music in a game. It was only the final, like the credits are rolling, right? But there it is.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. It's like the story. You're involved in the story, right? Just like you've been saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, made me think of that. All your
My
all of
emotions.
your experiences kind of made me think of that.
Oh, and I will say, To the Moon was actually made using RPG Maker.
Was it?
And
Okay.
they used he created all of his own assets, so it doesn't look like an RPG Maker game, but yeah. Sorry, a little side tangent.
You'd be surprised what people used as an engine When you look at games, if you look it up and say what engine was made, you might be surprised that you love a game that someone used a very simple engine to build. So one of those things, definitely, right? All right, so let's ready to wrap up then. Anything else to add?
No, I think we're good. Good episode.
All right, appreciate it. So, as we usually do, here's our concluding comments. Visit our website if you can. We would love some feedback. It's MJ and Blue Gaming, just spelled out like it is, .carrd.co. CARRD.co. So, MJ and Blue Gaming card.co. We have links there of all our socials and also our email, which feel free to email us if you've got your own thoughts on music and gaming. What inspired you? What made you cry? What brought your emotions into it? We'd love to hear it. So share us with your history of gaming or whatever legacy games you love or whatever. We'd like to talk about it. We might mention you. We may disagree with you. We may mention you. We may love it. We may pull you in. I don't know. But we'd love to hear your thoughts on any feedback you've got with us too. And also, if you feel like you got some value from us, from our little side project here, please consider supporting us. So there's a link there for buying us a coffee, and every little bit helps. So you can also regularly support us. We appreciate that very much. I have been MJ.
And I'm Blue. Have a good one, everyone.
Have a good day.